Welcome to our channel, Success Mindset. Thank you for joining us on this journey as we explore the deep values of success mindset and inner strength. Have you ever caught yourself saying, "I'll do it tomorrow"? How often do you find yourself putting things off, waiting for the perfect moment to act? What if I told you that tomorrow is a myth and the only real time you have is now? Imagine waking up one day and realizing that time has slipped away, not due to a major disaster, but because you kept waiting for the right conditions. How many opportunities have you missed because you were too focused on tomorrow? The Stoics warn us of this trap, and they have a powerful remedy. We're all guilty of it: the endless cycle of preparation, waiting, and hesitating. But the Stoics remind us that the only time we truly control is the present. Time isn't waiting for us to get ready. It's ticking away whether we act or not. So, are you ready to stop wasting your precious moments? The Stoics had a brutal yet liberating truth. Time, our most valuable resource, slips away like sand through our fingers. Seneca, in his essay on the shortness of life, makes it abundantly clear: we are not given a short life, we make it short. This powerful realization should shake us awake. It's not that life is inherently brief, but rather that we waste it in endless distractions, procrastination, and hesitation. How many times have you told yourself, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I have time, I'll focus once things settle down"? These are self-deceptions, convenient excuses that keep us stuck in a loop of inaction. The Stoics challenge us to face the harsh reality. The only moment we can truly act is now. Tomorrow doesn't exist. It's a figment of our imagination. The clock is always ticking, and every moment we waste is a moment we can never get back. When we reflect on our lives, it's not the grand moments of failure or catastrophe that haunt us. No, it's the small, seemingly insignificant choices we made along the way. It's the times we chose comfort over courage, distraction over discipline, and hesitation over action. The Stoics remind us that every day presents an opportunity to take action, to start moving toward our dreams, to create something meaningful. Yet how many days have you let slip by, thinking that tomorrow will be better? Seneca also warned that time is a loan from fate, and one day, fate will come to collect its debt. It's in the small, trivial pursuits that time is lost, the moments we waste avoiding discomfort, avoiding the unknown, or avoiding taking that first step. Every time we put off important tasks in favor of fleeting comforts, we steal from our own future. Now picture yourself on your deathbed. Will you look back with contentment, knowing you acted and fully lived your life? Or will you be filled with regret, haunted by all the things you never even tried? The reality is, we won't regret the failures we experience, but the opportunities we let slip away without even trying. The Stoics urge us to live fully, intentionally. Every decision, every action should be purposeful, because once time is gone, it can never be reclaimed. Imagine what your life could be like if you took action today instead of waiting for tomorrow. It's not about productivity for the sake of being busy. It's about engaging deeply with life, making the most of every moment. This moment right now is your chance to break free from the chains of procrastination. The Stoics teach that we must not wait for motivation to strike. We must act first, creating the momentum we need to move forward. So ask yourself, will you continue to wait for tomorrow, or will you grasp today with both hands and shape it into something meaningful? The truth is, motivation doesn't arrive on its own, and waiting for it is just another form of wasting time. If you truly want to make something of your life, you must act now. Will you wait for the right moment, or will you create the right moment? Let's continue exploring how the Stoic mindset can help us embrace action and make the most of the time we have left. Ready to take the next step? Come on, Banja and Hachno. Dwyjai la fanviet le voi sudandat mortma kong tashbiet nuka chuang magutin lian mashkua noidung. As we've already seen, the Stoics remind us that waiting for the perfect moment is an illusion. The only time we truly control is now. With this awareness in mind, how do we start living with urgency, focus, and intention? Let's continue to explore how we can take action, embrace each day fully, and break free from distractions. Despite the hesitation, despite the uncertainty, once you recognize that today is the only certainty you have, you will begin to live with urgency, purpose, and unwavering determination. Start each morning by reminding yourself, today could be my last. How will I use it wisely? Reflect on the fragility of time and the unpredictability of life. Recognize that every moment is an opportunity, a resource that should not be squandered. Think about the things you would regret if today were indeed your last. Would you have spent enough time with loved ones? Would you have pursued the goals that truly matter? Would you have spoken the words you always meant to say? These are not idle questions to ponder. They demand decisive action. Instead of starting your day with distractions, immerse yourself in purposeful activity. Begin with deep breathing or meditation to center yourself and set an intention for how you will use the day ahead. Prioritize the most meaningful tasks rather than the most urgent ones. Every step you take toward fulfillment should align with your core values and ultimate aspirations. As you go about your day, remain acutely aware of the fleeting nature of time. Carry the wisdom of the Stoics with you, reminding yourself that waiting is an illusion. What matters is doing now. Take small but deliberate steps toward growth, and watch as your discipline compounds into a life well lived. Identify 3 things you have been delaying and take action on at least one of them today, regardless of any hesitation. Reflect every evening on wasted time and commit to making better use of the next day by setting 3 specific intentions for improvement. Distractions are not just external, they are internal as well. Phones, entertainment, social media, and the endless cycle of mindless consumption all keep us from engaging deeply with life. The Stoics were well aware of this, even in their time. Epictetus warned against being swayed by trivial matters and useless concerns. If he were alive today, he would likely caution against binge-watching, endless scrolling, and the pursuit of meaningless drama. We live in an era where attention is currency, and distractions are deliberately designed to steal it. The digital world is built upon hijacking your focus, exploiting your impulses, and keeping you trapped in an endless loop of consumption. Notifications, autoplay features, and algorithm-driven content, all of these tools are designed to keep your mind occupied, but unfulfilled. Every hour spent chasing fleeting entertainment is an hour lost to your deeper aspirations and intellectual growth. The Stoic resists. They cultivate the ability to focus, to engage with the world deliberately, and to choose their inputs wisely. They understand that controlling attention is not merely about willpower, but about intentional design. If you cannot control where your attention goes, you are not truly in control of your life. The antidote to distraction is presence. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to return to the present moment, to focus only on what is within his power. Being fully engaged in the now allows you to extract the deepest meaning from each experience, whether it's work, study, or conversation. By removing unnecessary distractions and channeling your energy into purposeful action, you strengthen the discipline that defines a Stoic life. Distractions do not merely waste time. They fragment your mind, leaving you scattered and unfocused. The more you indulge in them, the harder it becomes to concentrate on anything meaningful. It's not just about the obvious distractions like social media or television. Even seemingly productive activities can become forms of procrastination when they divert you from your true priorities. This is why self-awareness is essential. You must recognize when you are engaging in something useful and when you are merely avoiding discomfort. Through daily practice, you can train yourself to reclaim control. Begin by setting boundaries. Designate periods where distractions are deliberately minimized. Practice solitude, reflection, and deep work. Make time for intentional stillness, where you can process your thoughts without external influence. Challenge yourself to resist the instant gratification that entertainment offers and embrace the fulfillment that comes from mindful engagement with life. Consider the concept of digital minimalism, curating your environment to only include the technological tools that serve your highest values. This doesn't mean rejecting modern conveniences, but rather using them in a way that aligns with your personal and philosophical commitments. By carefully selecting what you consume and where you place your attention, you ensure that your mental focus is on what truly matters, creating a life that is both disciplined and meaningful. By adopting these practices, we start shifting away from the tyranny of distractions and toward a life that is more focused and intentional. This journey, though, is ongoing. We must continuously remind ourselves of the fleeting nature of time, engage with our world deliberately, and choose our actions with purpose. Now, as we begin to recognize the power of our focus and the discipline needed to act, we are ready to move forward and put these lessons into practice in every area of our lives. As we've explored, the Stoic mindset teaches us to embrace action and growth through experience. Now let's dive deeper into the role failure plays in shaping resilience and mastery. Far from being something to fear, failure is an essential part of progress, providing lessons that propel us toward greater achievements. Mastery is not something that arrives overnight. It is built brick by brick through experience and persistence. Every challenge overcome, every lesson learned contributes to a foundation of resilience that allows us to face greater challenges ahead. The mind often deceives us into believing that we need more preparation, more certainty, more time before we act. But this is an illusion. Clarity comes from engagement, not from waiting. Growth happens through experience, not hesitation. The longer we delay, the harder it becomes to break free from the grip of inaction. Action creates possibility, whereas hesitation ensures stagnation. So ask yourself, what have you been delaying under the guise of waiting for the right time? What opportunities are slipping through your fingers while you hesitate? The perfect moment is an illusion, but the present moment is real, and it is yours to seize. Every second you postpone your dreams is a second lost forever. Instead of waiting for the right moment, create it. Instead of hoping for the perfect conditions, adapt to what you have and begin. The road ahead may be uncertain, but one truth remains unshakable. Only those who take action will ever move forward. Identify an area where you have been waiting for the right time and take immediate action. Set deadlines for decisions and projects to prevent endless hesitation. Remind yourself that you are capable of progress even in imperfect circumstances. One of the greatest reasons people waste time is the fear of failure. We hesitate to act because we fear judgment, embarrassment, or the possibility of making a mistake. This fear paralyzes us, causing us to avoid opportunities and potential growth. But the Stoics saw failure differently. To them, failure was not something to be feared, but something to be embraced as an essential part of growth and self-improvement. Seneca famously said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." If you fear failure, you are avoiding the very experiences that make you stronger. By refusing to act out of fear, you are ensuring your own stagnation. The Stoic accepts failure as a teacher and moves forward regardless. Every setback, every mistake, and every challenge is a lesson that brings you closer to wisdom and competence. The more you fail, the more resilient you become. The Stoics understood that setbacks were not just obstacles, but opportunities to practice endurance, patience, and perseverance. The modern world often equates failure with inadequacy, but the Stoic perspective is different. Failure is simply feedback, a guide pointing out areas for improvement. The greatest figures in history, from philosophers to inventors, did not achieve greatness by avoiding failure, but by learning from it and persisting in spite of it. They understood that progress comes from action, not perfection. Every major breakthrough was preceded by countless failed attempts, and every master once stood where a beginner stands today. The difference lies in their willingness to persist despite failure, to embrace the lessons hidden within each setback. When you reframe failure as a stepping stone rather than a roadblock, you liberate yourself from its chains. Each failed attempt is a lesson in disguise, a sharpening of the mind, a testing of your resolve. The Stoic recognizes that failure is not personal, it is universal. It does not define you, rather, it refines you. The more frequently you fail, the more experienced you become, and the less fearful you are of future challenges. With each failure, you gain new insights, making you more adaptable, prepared, and resilient. Failure, in its essence, is growth in disguise. It is an opportunity to examine what works and what doesn't, to refine techniques, and to strengthen resolve. The only people who never fail are those who never try, and in their avoidance of failure, they also avoid growth, achievement, and true understanding. The Stoic sees failure as part of a necessary process, one that leads to wisdom, resilience, and mastery over both the self and external circumstances. By treating failure as an inevitable and essential part of progress, you develop the ability to face setbacks without despair. When you fail, analyze what went wrong, adjust your strategy, and try again with renewed determination. The only true failure is inaction. A Stoic knows that action, even imperfect action, is always preferable to endless hesitation. Each step forward, no matter how small or flawed, is a victory over inertia. Even failure at something worthwhile is more valuable than doing nothing at all. It is through failure that strength of character is forged, shaping an individual who no longer fears adversity, but welcomes it as a chance to learn and refine their abilities. To live without fear of failure is to live with courage, and courage is the foundation of all achievement. Fear will always exist, but acting in spite of it is what separates those who achieve from those who only dream. The Stoic understands that the pursuit of excellence demands failure along the way. Those who make peace with failure transform it from an obstacle into an ally, one that teaches, strengthens, and ultimately propels them towards success, mastery, growth, and fulfillment. As we explore the role of failure in personal growth, we begin to see how it serves as a tool for resilience and mastery. Embracing failure allows us to progress, learn, and ultimately achieve the greatness we seek. With this understanding, we are now ready to face the weight of distractions and how they keep us from realizing our potential. Let's move forward with clarity and purpose. As we continue exploring the Stoic approach to living without regret, we now turn our attention to the importance of engaging fully in the present. Regret often arises from not acting in the now, allowing fear and hesitation to guide our decisions. The Stoics urge us to break free from this cycle, encouraging us to act decisively and embrace each moment as an opportunity for growth and fulfillment. Regret is one of the heaviest burdens we carry, a constant reminder of what could have been if only we had acted sooner. The Stoics warn us against accumulating regrets by failing to live fully in the present. Seneca wrote, "Life is long if you know how to use it, yet too many people reach the end of their days realizing they have squandered much of their existence on trivialities, distractions, and fear-driven inaction." Regret is not born out of taking action. It stems from choosing comfort over challenge, distraction over discipline, and hesitation over decisiveness. Every moment we delay action, we risk adding to the ledger of our regrets. The Stoic understands that the only way to minimize regret is to maximize engagement with the present. One of the greatest dangers of regret is that it accumulates over time, creating a mental weight that becomes harder to bear with each passing year. The more we put off meaningful action, the more regrets compound, leaving us stuck in cycles of lamentation. This is why the Stoic believes in embracing immediate action rather than waiting for an elusive, perfect moment to arise. The more decisively we act now, the fewer regrets we will have to carry into the future. Another important lesson the Stoics impart is that regret should not paralyze us, but rather serve as a guide. Regret, when properly examined, can highlight the values we have neglected or the opportunities we have let slip away. Instead of dwelling on past mistakes with sorrow, we should study them with curiosity. What did we avoid out of fear? What chances did we let pass by due to hesitation? In facing these hard truths, we gain the wisdom to correct our course and make better choices moving forward. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on the transient nature of life. He understood that time is a currency we cannot replenish, and he urged himself to live each day as though it were his last. This mindset is not about cultivating anxiety, but about fostering urgency and purpose. By accepting the impermanence of our existence, we are reminded that now, this very moment, is all we truly possess. To live without regret does not mean avoiding failure or hardship. Quite the contrary, it means embracing risk, stepping into the unknown, and understanding that mistakes are not the enemy. Inaction is. The Stoic acknowledges that life will be filled with trials, but they would rather stumble while striving for something meaningful than stand still in fear. By actively shaping our present, we take control of our future. We replace hesitation with action, distraction with focus, and fear with courage. If we wish to reach the end of our days with a sense of fulfillment rather than regret, we must begin today, not tomorrow, not next week, but in this very moment. Because the past is unchangeable and the future is uncertain, but the present is ours to command. Take inventory of past regrets and extract lessons from them rather than dwelling on what is unchangeable. Identify one thing you would regret not doing if life ended tomorrow and begin working on it today. End each day by asking yourself, did I make the best use of my time? Adjust accordingly. As we reflect on the Stoic view of regret and the importance of living fully in the present, we are reminded of the need to focus on what truly matters. Next, we will explore the dangers of the illusion of busyness, where people often mistake movement for progress, failing to focus on what truly drives meaningful success. Let's consider how we can prioritize what is truly essential. As we've seen, a life well lived is not measured by the number of tasks we complete, but by the meaning and depth behind our actions. The Stoics understood this deeply, and they lived, how with intention, aligning their efforts with their greater purpose, rather than getting lost in the distractions of everyday life. Let's now explore the significance of discipline in achieving that purposeful life. The Stoic masters understood that it's not the quantity of tasks completed that defines a meaningful life, but the depth and significance of those actions. To live meaningfully, one must learn to distinguish between essential and non-essential tasks, giving oneself permission to eliminate the latter. Cutting away the unnecessary requires both courage and wisdom. It means resisting the pressure to conform to societal expectations of constant busyness and instead embracing a deliberate approach to time management. It's not about working harder. It's about working smarter, ensuring that every effort is directed towards something truly worthwhile. If you find yourself constantly busy but unfulfilled, take a moment to reflect. Are you truly making progress toward your goals, or are you just filling your days with activity? Are you prioritizing depth over breadth, quality over quantity? True productivity is about focused effort on the things that matter most, not the sheer quantity of tasks completed. Mastery over time comes from choosing quality over quantity, depth over breadth, and intention over impulse. The Stoic does not seek to do more. They seek to do what is necessary, meaningful, and enduring. When you intentionally remove the distractions of unnecessary busyness, you create space for true engagement. You free yourself to think deeply, act purposefully, and align your efforts with your highest values. Instead of allowing obligations to dictate your time, you take control of your life and direct it toward meaningful pursuits. In doing so, you achieve not only greater efficiency, but also a deeper sense of fulfillment, knowing that each moment has been spent with purpose and clarity. Review your daily schedule. Eliminate at least one unnecessary or low-value task. Prioritize 3 meaningful activities each day and focus solely on those. It is through these intentional actions that we begin to reclaim our time and direct it toward what truly matters. Chapter 7. The strength of discipline. Discipline is the bridge between knowing and doing. Without it, even the most profound Stoic insights remain theoretical rather than practical. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Freedom is not found in indulgence, but in mastery over one's impulses, habits, and actions. True discipline is not an external force imposed upon us, but an internal commitment to personal growth and excellence. Discipline is not a trait. It is a muscle that must be exercised daily. The Stoic commits to self-discipline, not as an act of punishment, but as an act of self-respect. They do what must be done, even when it is difficult, tedious, or uninspiring. The disciplined individual does not wait for motivation. They act despite its absence. They know that real strength is forged in adversity, in the moments when every fiber of their being wants to quit, yet they persist. One of the key components of Stoic discipline is consistency. Small, steady efforts each day lead to monumental progress over time. This is why the Stoic practices daily rituals, whether it be journaling, meditation, exercise, or deliberate reflection. These habits reinforce mental clarity and strengthen the ability to endure discomfort. Each disciplined act is a declaration of mastery over the self, a testament to the unwavering pursuit of virtue. Discipline is the antidote to regret. Those who lack discipline often find themselves burdened with missed opportunities, unfulfilled potential, and a life filled with what-ifs. The Stoic understands that a disciplined life is a life without unnecessary regret. By holding themselves accountable and taking consistent action, they ensure that their days are spent with intention rather than wasted in indecision or laziness. Discipline creates structure, and structure enables a person to progress toward their goals with purpose. Without discipline, time is spent haphazardly, and before long a lifetime of potential has been wasted. The Stoic also recognizes that discipline extends beyond personal habits. It applies to how one interacts with the world. They exercise discipline in speech, in thought, and in action, choosing their words and behaviors carefully. They do not give in to fleeting emotions, nor are they easily swayed by external pressures. They train themselves to remain steady, unshaken by temporary discomfort or short-term gratification. True discipline involves emotional regulation, ensuring that reactions are measured and that every decision is based on wisdom rather than impulse. Discipline is also the key to resilience. Life is unpredictable, and external events often disrupt plans. However, a disciplined person does not falter in the face of adversity. They persist, adjusting their approach when necessary but never deviating from their principles. The ability to remain steadfast during hardship is what allows individuals to achieve greatness, regardless of the obstacles they encounter. For the Stoic, every challenge is an opportunity to strengthen their resolve. True discipline means embracing setbacks, viewing them not as failures, but as opportunities for growth. Each time an obstacle arises, it is another chance to refine one's character and fortify the will. Discipline is not just about pushing through discomfort, it's about transforming adversity into a tool for self-improvement. As we now explore the strength of discipline and its role in shaping resilience and growth, we realize that the key to success lies not just in hard work, but in focused, consistent action, aligned with our highest values. To truly master ourselves, we must cultivate discipline in all areas of life, including how we manage our time and engage with the world. Moving forward, we will explore how we can build on this foundation to further strengthen our resolve and live with purpose. Building on the understanding that discipline frees us from the chaos of distraction and inaction, the Stoics emphasize that true discipline isn't just about control. It's about creating a life driven by purpose, independence, and self-reliance. Let's dive deeper into how discipline fosters an inner drive, helping us stay focused and resilient in the face of life's challenges. Discipline fosters self-reliance, replacing the need for external motivators with an internal drive to succeed. The Stoic understands that motivation is fleeting, but discipline is constant. Motivation may get someone started, but only discipline will keep them moving forward when challenges arise. This understanding allows them to stay consistent, even when enthusiasm fades, ensuring long-term success rather than short-lived effort. Self-reliance also breeds independence, removing the need for external validation or approval. The disciplined person does not wait for the perfect conditions to act. They create their own opportunities through consistent effort. Discipline is not a burden, but a path to liberation. It frees the mind from the chaos of distraction, the paralysis of overthinking, and the stagnation of inaction. It enables individuals to act decisively, move forward with confidence, and shape their lives according to their highest values. A disciplined mind is a focused mind, one that is able to block out noise and direct energy toward what truly matters. This ability to control one's actions and responses brings a sense of peace and clarity, as one is no longer enslaved by impulses or fleeting desires. Discipline is also a form of self-respect. The individual who exercises discipline shows that they value their time, their goals, and their future. They do not waste their moments on distractions that do not serve them. Instead, they structure their days in alignment with their ultimate purpose. This structure is not rigid or oppressive. Rather, it provides a framework that enhances freedom by eliminating the chaos of indecision and mindless distractions. Discipline allows for greater creativity, deeper engagement, and a stronger sense of fulfillment. True discipline also fosters a profound sense of clarity. The more disciplined one becomes, the less cluttered the mind is with unnecessary concerns. Decisions become easier because they are made with purpose and alignment to one's values. The disciplined individual is not weighed down by the reactions of fleeting desires, but is instead propelled forward by an unwavering sense of direction. A Stoic does not simply wish for self-mastery. They cultivate it brick by brick, through disciplined choices and an unwavering commitment to personal growth. They understand that each day presents an opportunity to strengthen their resolve. They do not allow past failures to dictate their future, nor do they wait for perfect conditions to take action. Instead, they recognize that discipline is a daily practice, an ongoing process of refinement that requires patience and dedication. Every act of discipline is a declaration of control over the self, a refusal to be ruled by impulses or emotions. In doing so, they create a life of purpose, free from regret and rich with fulfillment. The disciplined individual experiences a deeper sense of satisfaction because their actions are intentional and meaningful. They build resilience with every decision, forging a mindset that is not easily swayed by external pressures. They understand that discipline is not a one-time choice, but a lifelong practice, one that must be reinforced daily through conscious effort and unwavering commitment. The truly disciplined individual is not one who never struggles, but one who never surrenders to struggle. They embrace challenges as opportunities to refine their character and strengthen their will. They cultivate a sense of inner strength that allows them to navigate life's obstacles with grace and determination. Through their continuous efforts, they shape a life of true mastery, purpose, and fulfillment. Implement a structured morning routine that sets a disciplined tone for the day. Identify a habit you want to develop and commit to practicing it consistently for 30 days. When faced with an urge to procrastinate, repeat to yourself, "Am I being ruled by my emotions, or am I in control?" Now that we understand how discipline shapes resilience and self-mastery, it's time to turn our attention to another important aspect of time management, the courage to say no. Often, the greatest time wasters in life stem from an inability to say no, leading us to overcommit. Let's explore how saying no can help us regain control and avoid the distractions that pull us away from our true purpose. Building on the idea that discipline is the foundation of mastery, we now turn our attention to the power of routine and how it contributes to long-term success. The Stoics understood that greatness is not born from occasional bursts of effort, but from the quiet consistency of daily habits. Let's explore how routines help us cultivate resilience, clarity, and focus in our daily lives. Seneca wrote, "If you don't know where you are going, you will never get there." Saying no is an act of clarity, a declaration that you understand your priorities and refuse to be swayed by the demands of others. A Stoic learns to say no with confidence, understanding that every yes comes at the cost of something else. Saying yes to things that do not align with your values or long-term goals is equivalent to giving away your most valuable resource, time, to those who do not appreciate or deserve it. Instead of being a passive participant in life, the Stoic deliberately chooses where their attention and energy go. Remind yourself that your time is finite. Guard it as you would a prized possession. Time is the only resource that, once spent, can never be regained. By saying no to distractions, the Stoic ensures that their time is spent on what truly matters, living a life aligned with their principles and long-term vision. Chapter 8. The Power of Routine and Ritual. Great lives are not built on occasional bursts of effort, but on the quiet consistency of daily habits. The Stoics understood that excellence is not a matter of luck, but of discipline. Marcus Aurelius, despite being the most powerful man in the world, adhered to strict personal routines that helped him cultivate wisdom, resilience, and clarity. He did not rely on motivation, but on structured habits that reinforced his values and strengthened his mind. The modern world often champions spontaneity and novelty, but the Stoic sees value in consistency. A structured life does not mean a dull one, it means a purposeful one. By establishing routines, you free your mind from decision fatigue and create space for deeper thinking and meaningful work. Every successful person understands this principle. Greatness is forged in the mundane, in the small, repeated actions that, over time, accumulate into mastery. Routines create stability and focus, acting as anchors that allow us to navigate life with intention. Without routine, we are at the mercy of external demands and fleeting emotions, constantly reacting instead of proactively directing our path. By adhering to daily disciplines, we build a foundation that supports long-term success and fulfillment. Whether it is a morning ritual that sets the tone for the day or an evening practice that fosters reflection, structured habits reinforce our values and keep us aligned with our purpose. Routines enhance mental clarity. When daily decisions are predetermined by well-crafted habits, we free cognitive energy for more meaningful pursuits. Many of history's greatest thinkers, from Aristotle to Benjamin Franklin, maintained structured routines that allowed them to focus on intellectual and creative endeavors rather than mundane logistics. By automating the predictable, we carve out space for what truly matters. A Stoic understands that discipline and routine go hand in hand. Repetition builds mastery, and mastery leads to confidence. When we repeatedly commit to the same actions with purpose, they become second nature, eliminating resistance and hesitation. This removes the need to rely on fleeting motivation and ensures that progress is sustained, even when challenges arise. Over time, disciplined habits reinforce an individual's resilience, allowing them to navigate life's unpredictability with steadiness and purpose. The importance of routines extends beyond efficiency. They cultivate emotional stability. Without structured habits, emotions can dictate the course of our days, leading us into cycles of reactivity rather than purposeful action. A well-established routine provides a sense of control, ensuring that we remain grounded and intentional in how we spend our time. With a framework in place, moments of difficulty become easier to manage because our daily discipline acts as an anchor. The key is to craft routines that serve rather than constrain. A well-structured day does not eliminate spontaneity, but provides a framework within which spontaneity can thrive. The Stoic recognizes that life requires both order and adaptability. By organizing our days effectively, we create the freedom to respond to unforeseen challenges without being overwhelmed. Through consistency, we cultivate mental fortitude, making it easier to stay focused on what truly matters. By setting intentional boundaries for our time and energy, we prevent distractions from derailing our focus and ensure that we remain on the path of growth. Ultimately, the small, consistent choices we make each day shape the life we live, one that is purposeful, fulfilling, and aligned with our deepest values. As we see, the Stoic mindset emphasizes the importance of structure, discipline, and clarity in shaping our daily lives. By building strong routines, we can foster resilience, enhance our focus, and ensure that each day is spent with intention. Now let's take a deeper look at how we can strengthen our resolve by creating routines that work for us, helping us achieve a balanced life of growth and fulfillment. Building on the idea that disciplined actions create steady progress, the Stoic mindset teaches us that a life of intentional routines not only brings structure, but allows us to navigate life's challenges with clarity and purpose. Now let's explore how embracing the art of letting go can free us from unnecessary burdens and allow us to fully live in the present. Every habit we reinforce shapes our character, and every disciplined action strengthens our ability to live with purpose. A life built on intentional routines is one that remains steady through all of life's seasons, allowing us to move forward with clarity, determination, and a sense of fulfillment. By identifying 3 core habits that align with your long-term goals and committing to them daily, you create a framework that supports growth and consistency. Establishing a morning and evening ritual helps to create structure in your life, ensuring that each day begins and ends with intention. Tracking your progress and refining your routines as needed will further ensure that you remain on course to achieve your aspirations. Chapter 10. The art of letting go. Many people waste their lives clinging to things they cannot change. Grudges, disappointments, past relationships, missed opportunities, and failures. The Stoics, however, taught the art of letting go. Epictetus advised, "Some things are up to us and some are not." To focus on what is out of our control is to surrender to unnecessary suffering, willingly allowing one's peace to be disturbed by matters beyond one's influence. The weight of holding onto the past is immense, and yet so many people carry it with them every day, unaware that it is preventing them from moving forward. Letting go is not a sign of weakness, but of wisdom. It means accepting reality as it is, without resistance. The more time you spend dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, the less time you have to live fully in the present. The Stoic does not ignore emotions, but instead acknowledges them, understands them, and then chooses to act rationally rather than emotionally. They recognize that lamenting over what has already happened, or fearing what may come next, is futile and counterproductive. Instead of allowing the mind to be consumed by regret or anxiety, they channel their energy toward constructive action and self-improvement. Furthermore, letting go is an exercise in freedom. When we release ourselves from unnecessary attachments, we are no longer bound by resentment, anger, or grief. The mind becomes lighter, clearer, and more capable of focusing on what truly matters. A Stoic understands that dwelling on the past prevents one from fully embracing the present moment. They train their mind to release attachments to things beyond their control and instead direct their energy toward meaningful action. Letting go does not mean forgetting or dismissing the lessons learned from hardship. It means recognizing that, while the past may have shaped us, it does not define us. True strength lies in our ability to move forward with clarity, wisdom, and purpose. Beyond just freeing ourselves from the weight of the past, letting go also cultivates inner peace. The Stoic learns that attachment to what is lost only prolongs suffering. Instead of viewing change as a loss, they see it as part of the natural order of life. This does not mean we do not grieve, but we do not remain trapped by grief. We acknowledge our emotions, give them space, and then choose to release them so we can continue walking forward. The practice of letting go extends beyond personal regrets. It also applies to expectations and control over others. Many people waste valuable time and energy trying to change those around them, dictating how they should behave or respond. They believe that if they just say the right words or push hard enough, they can alter another person's choices, attitudes, or beliefs. But the Stoic understands that the actions and opinions of others are outside of our control. Instead of trying to force change upon others, they focus on mastering their own reactions, leading by example, and choosing how they respond to the world around them. Letting go of the desire to control others is an act of liberation. The more we try to micromanage people's behaviors, the more frustration we invite into our lives. When we release the expectation that others should act as we wish them to, we free ourselves from constant disappointment. A Stoic does not seek to impose their will on others, but instead cultivates understanding and acceptance. They recognize that every person must walk their own path and learn their own lessons in their own time. This applies not only to relationships with individuals, but also to societal expectations. Many people tie their happiness to how well others conform to their expectations, but the Stoic sees the futility in this. Happiness cannot be derived from the behavior of others, but only from how we choose to live our own lives. In letting go, we free ourselves from the mental burdens that hold us back. By focusing on what is in our control and releasing the rest, we move closer to a life of clarity and peace. Now that we've explored the power of letting go, we are better equipped to move forward with purpose and understanding, free from the constraints of regret and the need to control everything around us. Let's now consider how we can embrace the present and build a life of true fulfillment by aligning our actions with our values. Building on the idea of letting go of attachments and focusing on what we can control, the Stoic philosophy teaches us how to live with clarity and inner peace by accepting reality as it is. Now let's dive deeper into how letting go is not a passive act, but an empowering process that leads to true freedom. Many people struggle with how closely the world aligns with their personal vision, whether it's their ideals or how others behave. However, this is a futile endeavor. The Stoic accepts the world as it is, without resentment or resistance. Instead of wishing for things to be different, the Stoic focuses on adapting and acting within their own sphere of influence. They practice internal control rather than seeking to control external circumstances. They understand that their greatest power lies in their ability to choose their thoughts, reactions, and behaviors. Letting go is an active process, not a passive one. It requires conscious effort, self-reflection, and repeated practice. It involves learning to identify the things that trigger frustration or disappointment, and then asking, is this within my power? If the answer is no, the Stoic response is to release attachment to it. The more we learn to release what we cannot control, the more energy we have to devote to what truly matters. A mind that is unburdened by unnecessary attachments is a mind that can focus, create, and grow. It is a mind that is truly free. This freedom manifests in many ways. It means we stop arguing with reality, wishing things were different, and instead we work with what is. It means we no longer waste time replaying conversations, ruminating over past slights, or trying to gain approval from people who may never give it. The ability to let go does not mean apathy. It means focusing our efforts where they are most effective. It ensures that our energy is directed toward meaningful action rather than wasted on futile resistance. By consistently practicing this mindset, the Stoic creates a life of inner peace and clarity. They do not allow themselves to be weighed down by the unpredictable and uncontrollable aspects of life. Instead, they move forward with confidence, fully engaged in the present, unburdened by unnecessary emotional baggage. Letting go in its truest sense is an act of profound strength. It is not about being indifferent. It is about choosing to invest your emotional energy in areas that truly matter. By doing so, we can stop dwelling on the past, stop resisting the present, and instead focus on shaping our future with purpose and intention. With these lessons, the Stoic path to mastering time and living with purpose becomes clearer. Every moment counts. What will you do with yours? As we reflect on the power of letting go and the freedom it brings, we now have the tools to manage our time and energy in a way that fosters growth and fulfillment. The Stoic way is not about fighting against life, but about accepting it and acting with purpose. With this foundation, we are ready to look at how to fully embrace the present moment and live in alignment with our values. What will you do with the time you have? The answer lies in how you choose to use it.